Hey guys. Yeah, we're just waiting on Tom and James getting on as well. Hi Gary. How you doing, Maisie? There we go. Hey dude, how you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, buddy. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad.
The technical fault. She was signed into the wrong Facebook account on the laptop, so I was sending, because obviously her Facebook's on the laptop. Obviously, I send her the link and then I just come on through that. But she was signed into. We're trying to obviously move a lot of like the Spider stuff over to its own separate Facebook group or account, should I say, rather than obviously seeing it all on our own personal Facebooks.
Okay.
So then obviously, like when you're scrolling through, you know, you're not just seeing reptile and spider stuff.
Yeah.
You're actually seeing what your friends post and stuff rather than what, well, all the other groups are seeing really or showing.
So how's your day been?
Not too bad. It's little, well, I wouldn't say busy as of such today. It's been quite relaxed and chilled out. Quite hard work, but it's been chilled because we've had quite a lot of time with what we've been doing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There we go. James is here now. Hey dude.
Yo. You alright?
Yeah, not too bad, but yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. I have got a kebab, so oh, how is folks?
Yeah, ticking on.
Yeah.
It's been one of them weeks, hasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, like every week at the moment. Really glad when the weeks are over.
I forgot. Oh, there is.
Well, yeah, I'm just counting down the days to the holiday now. 3 weeks today.
Where are you going, or you just
Devon.
try and ignore this?
Okay.
I do apologise.
I don't know, Devon Cliffs. It's one of the holiday parks down there.
Oh.
That'd be alright, wouldn't it?
Angel set it all up, so.
Yeah, it's a nice part of the country, actually.
Yeah, she took the kids last year, but I'd only just started my new job, so I sort of like couldn't really take the time off since it was sort of like sprung on me as well. I thought I'd sit with a little bit of a different angle behind me today.
Yeah.
Evening all. Yeah. Hello, Greg.
Right, I'm back.
Hi, Greg. Hi, Steve.
I forgot to send the comment from, didn't I? So I didn't see anyone's comments.
No, I can't see them on my phone. I don't know why. Oh, comments.
Yeah, I thought for anyone that's here this evening, there's a sneak peek. Ooh. Ooh.
What could it be?
That's the thing, there's many a thing that can go into a planted tank nowadays, so.
Very true. Do you know what? This wasn't a wise idea.
But I was only saying the other week how like I had a 45 cube sat here doing nothing, and now it's not.
It's not there.
Yeah.
Not doing nothing though, isn't it?
No.
Cool.
Oh. Where you gone, James?
I don't know. I didn't do nothing.
Just suddenly
That was
vanished.
bad.
I was there, then I was gone.
The stream saw the kebab and it was like, nope, not allowing this.
I'm not displaying that disgusting food on.
Copyright. Right there.
Copyright.
Yeah, I really like that enclosure there, Tom. It's looking really smart.
Yeah, like I say, in a few months' time, once everything's all started growing in, I'm also thinking about maybe adding a little bit of pothos to it as well, just to, give it a little bit more ground cover. And then pin a little bit up the back. But I haven't quite decided yet. I'll wait till it grows in a bit.
Yeah, I've got one of the ones I've done here. I did all live planted and stuff with devil's ivy. If you put devil's ivy in it, it goes absolutely mental.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I've had to cut loads of it away because it's just gone mental.
You cut it, plant it, it grows. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's really good if you want to create little cuttings to put in your other vivs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a big one sat in the conservatory at the minute. It stands about 3 foot tall, so I've just got,
Nice.
I can just cut little bits off of that.
So no shortage of live plants ever.
No, not really. I mean, if you see the desk out on the conservatory, I've got live plants to do about another 5 builds probably before I've really got to start looking at maybe topping back up. But then a lot of the bromeliads as well, I could separate because a lot of them have got pups. So I could just cut them off and, glue them straight to a piece of cork bark.
Yeah.
So I do have a lot more plants than what I could have. Because I've sort of like put big plants in rather than just cutting them and putting little bits in here and there.
Yeah.
I've got a feeling, I'm not going to say it, but I got a feeling I know what's in there. Got a funny feeling. Anyway,
there you go. See that? Right, that's it. What everyone's getting.
That's your lot, ladies and gents.
Sorry, if you're here after the 10-minute marker, then feel free to go back and check the stream again. But that's all you're getting for now.
So we're all just waiting out for the video now, yeah?
Yeah. All I've got to do is I just got to do the intro for it. Everything else is all done.
Cool.
Right. I was, I might do it later on once the stream finishes or something. But if not, then I'll just tomorrow, and then it'll be out sort of Wednesday.
Yeah.
I look forward to that. Still think I know what's in there. I'll message you later. And
Get it. I'll make it. So what's your?
I've got. Go on.
I was just gonna ask James what his new additions were. Or is that a secret as well?
no, it's not. I got. So basically, one of my mates is downsizing, shall we say?
Okay.
So I just got them from him, really. There was a Smithy, which I've never had, so
Okay.
why not? There was a Scolopendra Heroes.
All right.
That thing is quick. Oh my god. There was a Mustard Baboon, Skeleton Leg, and another one I can't remember now, but yeah, it just sort of like fills in like the Mustard Baboon and Skeleton Leg I've had before, but they died, so not necessarily replacing them, just getting them back. That's kind of replacing them, isn't it, really, I suppose? Yeah, that's it, really. You got anything new?
Okay. No, nothing yet.
No.
No, not really had the time to do all the shopping and stuff. I need to sort of concentrate on work and stuff at the minute.
Yeah. Tom's always got something new every day, I swear. It's a daily occurrence.
No, it's more just monthly. Get paid at the end of the month, and I order a load of new editions or go out and buy new stuff, and then sort of like try and space it throughout the month, like videos and stuff, rather than putting it all out in one.
That's a good way of doing it, actually.
Yeah, so like sometimes I'll have 2 mystery boxes turn up at once, but then I'll put them out on 2 separate weeks, so it then breaks everything up.
Yeah.
At least then it sort of gives me 2 videos rather than just one long one.
Yeah, my next one's likely to be whatever Lee sends through as the prize for winning this competition. So interesting to see what's in that.
Yeah, definitely. Look, he's itching to show that off again, isn't he? Look,
No, I've also got the Balfouri communal behind me. 2 of them. One with the tiny little babies of 5, and the other one 13.
I moved mine today because they're all sort of like hiding at the back, and I turned the image around, and oh wow, it's just amazing. I was just looking at this web, and oh, it's incredible. It just looks like candy floss. It's quite nice.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with mine actually, because I must be one of the only people in the hobby at the moment that doesn't have a communal of Balfour. I've only got the female and the egg sac that she's sat with at the minute. So, but she's gone absolutely nuts in terms of the way she's webbed up. She'd webbed up quite a bit, but now she's done the whole of the enclosure literally in the last couple of days. It's like she's like making up for lost time.
Yeah.
So obviously not so much fun when I opened the door the other day though, because she webbed all the door up and everything else. So as I opened the door, she decided to come and investigate.
They're quite nice. I like them. They do get, I think, a lot of like hype.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to get shot for this, but yeah, I think they're overrated. And I said this even from day one, even before I bought them. but I bought them because it was like, well, I like the fact of a communal spider.
Yeah.
And if
yeah, of course.
you know,
Yeah.
if they're ones that you can keep communal and that a lot of people have a lot of success with, I thought, why not? And it was
Yeah.
exactly the same with the pulchra as well, Grammostola pulchra.
Hmm.
It's not really one of the species that I like in particularly. You know, it's not one of my highly rated tarantulas, but
Yeah.
I've got one. I've now got two, in fact. There's one coming in a mystery box, but you know,
Yeah.
I think they're quite overrated, really. I understand that people like them because they are that jet black, but
Mm.
I think
Yeah.
they're a bit overrated.
They're quite pricey as well now. If you find them as adults and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. And I
There's
think
a
it's.
shop. Go on.
I was just going to say, it's supply and demand, isn't it? The minute something
Yeah.
becomes a little bit more popular, the prices start to go up.
There's a exotic shop around here, and they've got, it's probably just GV, and it's £140.
Wow.
And you look at it, and I couldn't justify that. So
Yeah, I think I paid 35 for mine, and it was 4 to 5 centimeters.
Okay.
So you know, it's pricey for a sling or a grown-on sling, if you wish.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you look at say like Harpacteria pulchripes or something,
Mm.
and they're like 25 quid a sling anyway, aren't they? Or P Mets, 25 quid a sling.
Yeah.
So it all depends on what you want, really, isn't it? If you want them, you're going to pay the money for them.
Yeah.
it's like
Absolutely.
anything, really, I suppose.
Yeah. It's just. Well, I'll take Balfours for example. I mean, when I remember when they first came into the hobby, they were so expensive, absolutely unbelievably expensive, and they're not cheap as chips now. But without a doubt, probably one of the most popular in the hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like them. I really do. I just think, yeah, they do get probably the most fuss.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but I mean, I can see why.
I get it. Yeah, I get it. They're good-looking spiders, and it's amazing that you can keep them communally and stuff. They do create some pretty epic-looking setups, and so
Yeah.
I do get it.
But that's it. Imagine if, say, GBB was a communal spider. Which would you
Oh.
rather have?
GBB all day long.
Yeah,
All
so
day long.
you know, they both web up practically the same sort of,
Yeah.
you know, or make the same sort of web castles as one another, you know. But if you could keep either of them communally, then you'd probably have a GBB.
Yeah. Without. Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's that whole fact I find that it's because it's a communal, or that you can have a communal of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do look nice, you know, blue legs, but then you could argue that, you know, you could, like I said, you could get a Harpacteria pulchripes, a golden blue baboon,
Yeah.
which
And they are
you know,
much better looking.
yeah, you know, but it's still a baboon tarantula. So there's a few arguments there that you can, if then, you know, the Harpacteria pulchripes was a communal, which would you have? Of your So as I say, I think it comes down to a lot of that. It can be kept communal, and it can be kept as a solo. Yeah, there's lots of things that you can and can't do, whereas a lot of other things, obviously, you can only keep them solo. Even metallic, even Postotheria, you know, you keep communal in 18 months' time, you're probably going to end up losing most of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's the whole thing as well. You know, N incies or H gigas. They say that they're communal. As long as you get them from the same egg sac, say, they're meant to be communal in some respect. But I don't think there's been a lot or enough time being put into them to prove that they can be.
No, and there's so many mixed results.
Yeah, near enough everything that I've seen with NC, everything gets eaten. You know, it ends up with like 1 or 2 tarantulas left at the end of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've kept like one of the first species I bred was the H. gigas, and they stayed communally for quite a while. I had them together probably for about 7 or 8 months, but then separated them all down because I had to sell off the collection, so they all ended up going. I don't know how many of them stayed together, but I mean I separated most of them down, but there was about sort of, I think I kept about 15, 20 of them all together in the end. I think I lost a couple, as you'd expect to lose a couple.
Yeah.
James is
I mean, trying to keep a communal with them, like once they're adult anyway, you need quite a fair size enclosure, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to be going in there to do maintenance either.
Get some mould in there or something, have to change out the substrate.
Yeah, no, it would not be fun. They are not a friendly species at all.
No, my one just decided that it wanted to, you know, stand very still and not do anything when I decided I wanted to try and move it.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that when you did your unboxing video on those last 2 big ones that you got.
Yeah, it just seemed so calm that it just didn't want to move at all.
Yeah.
And even now that it's in his tub, all it's done is just webbed over the top, and that's it, and just sits there. So, aren't you meant to burrow?
Yeah. See, the thing that I really enjoyed the most about the H. gigas was the difference in colour that you can get with them. So obviously the original Cameroon rusty red baboon, and they go that nice sort of rusty red colour. But then if you keep them slightly on the more humid side, when they molt out, they sort of come out almost like a silvery grey colour. Seems to have a bearing on like the level of humidity when they go for a molt cycle and stuff as to what colour they come out, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm not sure with these two. Like, as I say, all I've done is pretty much just webbed over the surface, and they both sat there. Even the Von Worthy that I got has done pretty much exactly the same. So I don't know whether or not they're sort of getting ready to molt or what. But the Gigas actually did eat for me the other night, but the Von Worthy didn't. So
I was quite surprised looking at that Von Worthy actually when you did with the unboxing video for that, when you were sticking it into its new home. I was really surprised at just how like non-compliant that was being, and I mean non-compliant in a way that he just wasn't doing anything.
No, I think that's what made it worse for me.
I mean,
if it was maybe throw up a fret pose or something like that, at least you know that it's wanting to do something. But when it just sits there and just doesn't want to budge and touch it with the end of the tweezers, as you saw, I was trying to pull tissue out. It just
not playing.
No, it's not something you expect from an old world species. It's just for it to sit there.
No, and there's a few from that genus I've kept over the years, and they've had very similar personalities. They're not You know, I've known them like spaz out just when you take the lid off the enclosure, some of them, and go absolutely ape shit. You know, for that to have been as chilled out as it was, sort of looking at it to start with, thinking, is it actually all right? Is there something wrong with it?
I know, yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
that's what I was thinking all the way through, because where it was also tucked in together, I was like, is it? Is it not? Is it just teasing me? Or in a minute, is it just going to run around or spin round and run up the tweezers on my arm or something?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the behaviour that I expect from them.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like when I unboxed my Curly, when I got him in a mystery box, all he wanted to do was sprint out the tub. As soon as I got the top off of it, that was it. It was across the bench and sat there, and it was like, now that's what I expected from these guys. Not from that. I expected that just to sort of sit there and me maybe like pull a bit of tissue and then it'll back on out. But no, that was it. The top come off. This is obviously before I started doing all the videos, so I don't have this one. But it was saved on a camera, and Angel was showing everyone whenever they come round. They were like, "Oh, have a look at this." It literally just bolted across the table and just sat there, and it was like, that's kind of just something like that. Even my Orphanoctoni, Orphanoctoni species over the back that I got in a mystery box. Even before I could get the lid off, she was throwing me a fret pose.
Yeah.
But at least that I knew what I was dealing with. She was in the threat pose. It was fine. I could get her out. That's no problem. But when they're sat there doing nothing, it's like, this is a bit new to me.
Yeah.
You just don't expect it.
No, not at all.
I mean, considering I've had little slings of like literally 2 centimeters turn up, and I'm trying to get them out of the pot, and they're throwing me a fret pose in the pot.
Yeah.
And yet something that's about 5 inches just wants to sit there and play dead.
Yeah.
Or should we say be a pet rock, which is normally a Brachypelma.
Yeah.
Gramstola. And we know how much of a pet rock they can all be. They're great play species because they do just sit there, but that is all you get from them.
Yeah, it's just why I like my arboreals, my old world arboreals and stuff, because they have a bit of personality. They do, have a bit of interaction at feeding time and stuff. It's not just sat there not moving until suddenly there's some food around, and you do get to catch them wandering around every now and again and doing a little bit of tank maintenance, chucking stuff all over the place. That's always quite fun.
Yeah.
So my female T Blondie's just decided that she doesn't like the enclosure that she's in. So she's been in there for a while now. It's still plenty big enough for her. She's, like I say, she's probably about 8.5 inch leg span thereabouts at the moment. So she's still got a bit of growing to do. But yeah, she's in a plenty big enough enclosure, but she's just decided she doesn't like it in there anymore. She's completely dug out all her burrow and filled it in and everything else. She's shifted everything else. She's dug up all the dirt, chucked it inside the water bowl, and then she's spending the rest of the time just sort of sat on the side of the tank. It's like, fucking hell.
I know that exactly the same. When I unboxed the curly hair, obviously she's going to me, "Oh, make a nice tank for it." I was like, "No." She's like, "Why?" I'm like, "It will redecorate it within 24 hours." She's, "What do you mean?" I said, just watch. And all I did was gave it a hide and a water dish. That was it. A little bit of moss over the top, just for because I could. And that was it. Within 24 hours, the moss was ripped up, put over the other side, water dish flipped over, hide was filled in, and it was like, yeah, okay. Yeah. So in a way, I want to put planted tanks in most of like my arboreal setups once it comes to that. But obviously, I want to see what ones are deciding that they want to destroy the place first before I kick tanks out for things.
Yeah.
I mean, most arboreals aren't too bad, but obviously terrestrials, they're forever.
Yeah.
Doing whatever they want to do.
Yeah, and I mean anything that's burrowing or anything like that is kind of pointless putting live plants in and that sort of stuff, because they just dig them all up. They do.
Oh, I tell you what a pain in the. We're back.
I thought you just wanted to go off and finish your kebab, mate. It's fine.
I was just sat up there. I like it cold.
There's nothing like getting a bit of kebab juice down your face when you're on live stream, mate.
Oh, imagine that. Sexy.
Oh.
But yeah, when it comes to obviously like terrestrial, I was thinking more like maybe getting some air plants and stuff like that and just sticking them around the enclosure.
Yeah.
And then at least then, you know, they may be on like a background that's been put on or something. At least then they're not going to be able to move them quite so easily.
Yeah.
How many people are in?
We got a grand total of 1 viewer at the moment.
What?
1.
Where is everyone?
We've had
over in the Raggies stream.
Yeah. So we've had Greg's been in, Steve's been in, Gary, Maisie. So we had a few, and then everyone just sort of dropped off and gone their own way.
Who is this one?
No idea.
It's me.
Oh.
Watching it on my phone, sorry.
Are you actually?
No.
Oh.
It's just some random person feeding things with us on in the background.
Yeah.
I do that though.
Yeah. Yeah. I should have thought about it really and given you guys a shout earlier on and see if you wanted to put the word out a little bit, because I don't have quite as many subscribers as you guys do. So
I literally copied and pasted the link and went through quite a few people, but they're not here.
Yeah. Oh well.
They're not here.
Still, it's just us, eh?
Well, you know, it's still early. We're only 35 minutes in. So yeah, what do you reckon about the idea then, guys, in terms of sticking that enclosure that I built, sticking that up as a prize for a giveaway?
Yeah, maybe just UK, because to post that, say like to America.
Yeah, I don't think I'd ship it anywhere else. I mean, price for shipping it with the weight of it and stuff's going to be bad enough even just based in the UK. But
maybe you could just do the contents of the enclosure, just tip it into a bag, send it to them, and then they can rebuild it. Imagine that. It's a bag of dirt.
Yeah, well, that's it. You've got a YouTube video on how it's done.
Well, yeah. Send instructions like IKEA.
Just send the materials to make it.
It's a DIY project.
That would be absolutely ace, wouldn't it? No.
Think that you're receiving it in the post, and then all of a sudden this flat pack turns up.
Imagine that coming through the letterbox.
It's an awesome looking enclosure, but I haven't got anything to put in it at the moment. I mean, I've designed it for for a desert species like a desert scorpion or something like that. But I don't have anything that's ready to go straight in, and I don't plan on getting anything that's ready to go straight into it. So it's kind of like it's just an Exoterra that's sat there now with a really nice.
What's that? One of the 30 cubes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, I even considered the option of sticking up to see if anybody wanted to do a trade for an empty 30 by 30 cube. Just like, yeah, you know, we'll do a straight swap. You give me an empty cube, I'll come up with another enclosure design, and you can take this one away.
That's pretty good, actually. You might get some, yeah. That's a pretty good idea.
Yeah. I've got another one that I'm working on as well. So when I did this one, I was working on 2 designs. I was going to potentially put 2 entries in, but then I thought that's a little bit greedy. But I came up with 2 designs. So I've done the desert enclosure, but I was also going to do like a Peruvian jungle one with like the old ancient Aztec pyramid ruins and stuff like that. I got halfway through doing that build and then just put it on hold. So that's still halfway.
Surely, if you post an enclosure, things inside are going to move, and
yeah. So you could put packing peanuts inside of the enclosure, couldn't you?
Yeah, I mean the bonuses with this one is it's only like the whole of the background and the building that's on it, and everything else is all solid. That's not going to move. That's all mounted into the background. The only thing that's loose in there, obviously, is the substrate and the little rock hide thing that goes on the side. Yeah. So that's the only thing really that moves around. So that would just be a case of, like Tom says, just filling it with packing peanuts or something to stop that rattling around too much.
Yeah.
Obviously, substrate can just go in a bag inside the enclosure.
Yeah. Although
and then just put some packing peanuts around it.
Yeah, I mean, there's nearly 10 kilos of substrate in that.
Yeah, that's the problem with that.
It's more than I got in my garden.
Well, given that I kind of shot myself in the foot a little bit with it. So when I mounted the little building bit onto the background, I kind of mounted it a little bit too high. I should have mounted it a bit lower, because obviously you have to fill the substrata up to the level of the bottom of that building. So yeah, I kind of screwed myself up a little bit with that one. So I potentially got a good 3 or 4 kilos more substrate than I actually needed if I put it in the right position. But it wasn't until I started filling it up and I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm going to get it almost, this is going to fill up all the way to the doors before it reaches the bottom of that.
That's the thing, like pretty much every one of my Exoterras that I've got, regardless of what it is, everything, all right, you know, like the geckos have got like an inch worth of like a drainage layer, but then everything's all filled like up to the bottom of the doors, really. I don't know what it is. I just always give that extra bit of substrate.
Yeah.
If you can, though, I mean, why not, innit?
Yeah. Although I mean, I'll let people in on this. No one's here, so it doesn't matter. But obviously, the Pac-Man frog, I'll put him in like, I don't know, a good 6 inches of substrate, 7 inches of substrate. And well, lo and behold, he decided he was going to dig himself all the way down to the bottom. And found out that's too much substrate for a Pac-Man frog.
Yeah, Mrs. keeps going on about Pac-Man frogs. Actually, she wants to get a Pac-Man frog.
They're awesome. I got 2. They didn't do nothing. But...
No.
Huh?
No, they don't really do anything other than sit there. But
yeah, but they're quite nice to just look at, really.
Mm.
Yeah, they just remind me of the Hypnotoad off of Futurama.
Is there anybody?
I don't know why I got one when I bought one, but I just sort of looked at it and all right, we'll add one.
Yeah. No, it looks like we've lost our last viewer.
Oh, come on.
Probably my missus anyway.
I feel like I should be offended.
I don't know where everyone is.
I've also got some more sand rolling out next to me. Can't really see it. That's all now drying out, ready to go in with the Death Fang beetles. So
Okay.
hopefully that's going to give them a bit more substrate. I might even add an extra couple in there yet. Don't know yet.
Okay.
And then we might try and breed them. See if it does work.
Cool.
And depending on what she says, I might add a scorpion.
You get a desert scorpion, mate. There's an enclosure here that's perfect for it.
Yeah, I was going to say, someone has an enclosure already set up for one of those.
Maybe just well, I suppose you could either give it away or maybe do like a I don't know, an auction.
Like Steve did throughout the NHS thing.
Yeah.
Because he raffled off in an enclosure, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely need to put together like I said earlier on, my next milestone is going to be 200 subscribers. I've still got a little way to go, but I want to do something. I want to do something half decent for the milestone. So I don't know about giving that away, but yeah.
The only thing with doing, like, if you did give that away, then the 300 one, people will be like, well, he gave a enclosure away at 200, so what's it?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like,
kind of got to escalate, don't you?
So, I mean, you could do it all. You could always do it in a raffle and maybe supply a scorpion as well from, say, like TSS. Raffle off the enclosure and it comes with the scorpion as well. So it's already a complete thing.
That's not a bad idea.
I'll buy it.
I mean, obviously, you'd still have to look at, say, like how much it would cost you for the scorpion and sale, like shipping and stuff like that from TSS or wherever you would buy it from, or Venomous Visions, Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, with that sort of stuff, it's like in terms of like doing the old tarantula giveaways and stuff, it's relatively straightforward. A lot of people just sort of generally tend to prepay for X amount of money's worth of stock from various different shops or whatever, and then supply them as gift vouchers or stuff like that. So, I mean, that the bonus with doing it that way is it opens it up for winners in like Europe, for example, or you've got what's the big one over in the States that everyone uses? Fear Not Tarantulas.
Yeah,
they're pretty good over there. Apparently, that's one everyone recommends to go through for all your giveaways if anybody in the States wins. But yeah, I want to do something nice. Just obviously don't want to leave myself massively out of pocket in the process.
Yeah,
it's not. I'm not making a fortune off of the channel like some of the bigger YouTubers are and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But hey ho. I like sharing the hobby. So yeah, I'll definitely do something. I just need to figure out how it is I'm going to do it. I might have a bit of a whip round as well for some of the other guys on YouTube and Instagram and see if anybody wants to donate like a bit of merch or something like that we can put like a merch package together as a prize or I don't know.
I'll definitely do that for you.
Thank you very much, dude. Much appreciated. I've got my Speaking of stickers, Tom, have you got mine yet?
No. Let me check. I I've been meaning to do a bit of a like shout out for people. We've had loads turn up, but obviously
Yeah.
where we haven't been putting out a lot of videos at the minute, there's not been a whole lot. I don't think we have.
I might have to resend them. I've had quite a few sets not turn up lately.
You're not the only one.
No, I haven't.
No. I don't know what's going on with the post here. I mean, we've got one small post office. There's like 2 guys that work in there. One guy that sorts it all, and one guy that goes out and delivers in, because it's only a small town. But if one of them has a day off, nobody gets any post, and they've still got a room out the back where they're clearing a massive backlog from like lockdown and all that sort of stuff. So postage around here at the moment is a little bit unpredictable, and I've had 2 or 3 sets now that I've sent out over the last month or so that just haven't turned up.
Yeah.
I've not received yours yet either, Tom. They've not come through, so
No.
I don't know if they're lost in the same system.
I don't know. She deals with all the sticker stuff, so I'll speak with her later on, see when they were sent.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit hit or miss around here.
I was going to say, I don't think we've really had any problems with any of ours getting out. Pretty much everyone that we've sent to has received them. Maybe not within like a couple of days, but
yeah,
like a week or 2.
Well, it's quite funny actually, because the previous lot that I sent out before this lot, one of them went all the way to Southern California, and the ones that I sent to California arrived before some of the ones that I sent out to the UK addresses.
It don't make sense, does it?
No.
And fly like 2,000 miles across the world and make it there before it hits someone 20 miles away from you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to be fair though, some of the people that I've sent stickers out to recently, I could have just got in the car and gone for a drive. There's quite a lot of people down this part of the country that are all in the same sort of area.
I did that with some of ours. I was working down in Portsmouth, so I sort of like hand delivered some.
Yeah.
And they were like one of the first.
I did that once on eBay. Somebody bought some off me. It was on eBay, and they just happened to be in Bristol, but they were literally like 3 miles away. So they paid for it and went and delivered it. But at the time, I was delivering myself, so I had the van, I had a high-vis jacket, and literally they were like, "Wait, what? I paid for this like 3 hours ago." Honestly, the review I got was like excellent.
Yeah, it's all about top class service, like.
They were so confused. I was like, package for you? Oh.
I'll be buying from this person again.
Yeah.
It turns up like this. All of a sudden, you're getting highly recommended across eBay.
Yeah. Less than 3 hours, and it was at my door. That's brilliant.
I take it you didn't tell them at the time that they'd bought it from you either. You just like turn up.
No, did I hell? No, I just turned up with it. Oh, we got 2 people.
Oh. There we go. We're going back up. Yeah, one of those is probably my missus sat upstairs watching.
It's just us 3 and our missus. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, there's one missing. How's all the Royals, Wayne?
Yeah, good. Yeah, good.
Good.
So I've started now getting things ready for the overwintering process. Mm-hmm. So I said the Royals are easy. They don't really require too much. That's just a case of sort of next month I'll drop the temperatures by a couple of degrees. That's the ambient temperatures, not temperatures on the mats. So I'll drop the ambient temperatures by a couple of degrees, leave them for a couple of months, and then start raising them by sort of half a degree every few days. But the ones that I've been concentrating on more are the colubrids, so the rat snakes and milk snakes, because they're a little bit more sort of sensitive, and their temperatures need to drop a lot lower for the overwintering process. So the milk snakes, I need to drop those down to about, so they're sat currently at about sort of 24, 25 degrees, and I need to drop them steadily down to just above 20. And that sort of starts now, sort of towards the end of this month. So we'll be dropping them down, and then they'll stay that way pretty much with everything switched off, no feeding, no nothing, right up until March. So they have it's almost like a semi-hibernation period. So they really do drop, and then they go for a period of inactivity for quite a while. And then come March, steadily start increasing the temperatures again. And then, should start seeing some pre-ovulation activity from the females very soon after that. You know, give them a good.
You gonna breed or?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm definitely breeding the royals again this year. I've had a couple of years off of breeding the snakes, so I've got everything prepped and ready to go. So I'll definitely be breeding the royals again this year. But it'll be the first time trying with the milk snakes and the rat snakes. I've never bred colubrids before, so it's that's a new project for me. So
do you have any particular royal that you want to breed?
Yeah, so I'm hoping we're going to be producing some pieds this year.
Nice goals.
So we've got a male low white yellow belly pied, and I've got a female 100% het pied that's ready to go this year. So I'm going to be putting them two together. So we're hoping to get some yellow belly pieds out of that.
Yeah, that'd be really nice.
But I've also I'm doing a Mojave to GHI pairing as well. So I'm going to produce some GHI Mojaves.
Yeah.
I've got a pastel het Russo leucistic that I'm going to pair with my female double het Russo. Yeah, she's a het Russo het daddy, the female. So she should produce some het daddy leucistics. That'll be awesome.
Nice.
What else have we got? So I've got the banana lesser male, which I'm pairing with. I've got a big chunky pinstripe female. So I'm going to stick the banana lesser in with her. So I'm looking at banana lesser pinstripes. That should be a nice combination.
There's something so satisfying about a banana pinstripe. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
They're just
oh
wow.
To be honest with you, anything with banana, anything that you stick with banana it just works.
Aren't bananas male makers? Like they produce more.
So it's quite a complicated little string of things there. So it very much depends. But bananas can either be male makers or female makers.
Yeah.
So I can't remember specifically off the top of my head how it works. But yeah, it would appear that one way or the other they'll either just make anything that's produced banana wise will be all the same sex, and it'll be guaranteed males or guaranteed females. So
weird, isn't it?
It is a bit weird. There's a couple good videos on YouTube actually that explains the whole male maker, female maker thing about bananas in quite a simple way. I've also got a visual lesser clown male that I'm putting to a pastel het clown female. So
okay,
that should so I've got quite a few of the royals this year. See what happens with those. I'll potentially, best case scenario. I've also got a pair of het albinos.
Nice.
So they'll go together. I'm not 100% sure they're het albinos. They were bought as a pair of het albinos, but no previous breeding or anything to back it up. So I don't know if they really are. They could just be a pair of normals, which means I'll just be producing a bunch of normals, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. So there'll definitely be quite a lot of royals. I'm expecting the incubator to be pretty
rammed.
royal.
Yeah.
The bonuses with the colubrids, because they incubate at a different temperature, and I've only got the one incubator. The bonuses, by the time the royals are done and dusted, that because the colubrids don't really start pairing up until sort of April, May time. By the time the royals are sort of laid and hatched out and that sort of stuff, it should free up the incubator for the colubrid eggs.
Yeah.
Should work out quite well. To be honest with you, the colubrid eggs you can almost incubate those at room temperature. As long as you've got a stable temperature in a room and the humidity level is quite good, then you can almost incubate those at room temperature. They don't need a particularly high level of temperature. They only want to be keeping them at sort of 25 degrees thereabouts.
Okay.
And the higher temperatures you incubate colubrids at, the more chance you get of like birth deformities and these. Just bear with me a second. I need to check on the dog. He's kicking off.
Right. Hi, Tom.
Hi.
Sorry, I don't know why I've done that. Should we hide so when he thinks we're gone?
It's like dog got himself stuck under the stairs.
I don't think
Sorry.
noticed yet.
So yeah, should end up with a lot of royals going for sale next year. There you go.
Think of me, won't you?
Oh, definitely.
I have 3 vivs, and I want to fill them.
Maybe if you had a GTP, then I could be tempted.
Yeah, if I had one of those, I don't think I'd be giving it away. Yeah, I want to get a new rainbow burrow.
Yeah. They get reasonable size.
Yeah. Yeah, so they'll top out about 7 foot long, but they're quite slender. So and they're arboreal, so you don't need massive vivs for them. But yeah, I love that iridescence. But it's definitely the one I'm most excited about for breeding next year is the black milk snakes.
Okay.
So yeah, I cannot find a single one for sale anywhere.
Have you looked on Morph Market?
Yeah, not one.
Really? Wow. Okay. There is probably none. If they're not on there, then yeah.
I only know of one other. So in terms of like, I mean, I'm sure there's other people out there that have got them, but I only know of one other pair in the UK. And that's the bloke I got mine from. So potentially could be something quite special.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah,
I cannot believe there's only 2 people here.
Yeah.
Are we actually live? Shall I see?
Yeah, it says it up in the corner. It says live in a big red box.
Okay. Yeah, we are 2 watching.
No, that's all right. If it stays quiet, we'll just call it an early night.
Yeah, there is There's a Reggies one on,
Yeah.
and something in America. Oh no,
Yeah.
that's
See,
not even that.
we got competition on a Monday night. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have to.
Could do it.
Maybe we'll have
over
to.
like,
So, I mean, the last few streams we've sort of been knocking it on the head for around about 11 o'clock ish. So it's not been a super late
Yeah.
night, and that seems to be a sort of about a good amount of time to have a decent chat and a few people coming to ask questions. Maybe it might be worth. I don't know how you gents feel about it, but it may be worth maybe doing an experiment on a different night one day and see if there's any difference in the uptake.
yeah, could do.
I mean, to me, I can do it any day of the week in the evening time. It's no problems for me.
Yeah. Same for
It's
me,
like-
but it's for you, and it, James. It's the work the next day.
Yeah, well, it's not that. Like, I finish at 10:30 on the evening, so
Right.
it's quite late. Well, it is late, but
So is a Monday night the only night you don't work?
yeah, basically. Could do no, because I'm working. Christ. Yeah, basically Monday.
Because truthfully, the days that are free are like Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Because obviously the ladies do Thursday, don't they?
Yeah, and then you got Tarantula Tubers Saturday night takeaway on a Saturday.
Yeah. I think Jaden's now doing a live on Sundays.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's one on a week. Sunday's probably a good time to have one because you got work in the morning, but yeah, you just want to chill out, so you're on it. You're on your phone or whatever, and
yeah, everyone's sort of home, aren't they, on a Sunday, and it's that chill out time, ready to go back to work on a Monday morning. Okay, awesome. So that's my brother and his missus.
hello.
Hey guys. So
family support.
A little bit of family support.
That's what we like.
Yeah.
What do you have for tea?
I had I had a pot noodle for tea. Student food.
That's not food. That's like dried sick in a flower pot.
Yeah. And then I followed that down with a salted caramel cheesecake.
Can't go wrong with that, buddy.
No. Burger and chips.
What I like about those is it says serves 4 on the box, and I always laugh at it. 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
my one said served 8.
I get competition for stuff like that. It's just a matter of who gets to the fridge first out of me and the missus. It still only ever serves 1, but it's just which one of us it serves.
I'm lucky there's not really anyone that eats cheesecake in this house other than me.
Cheesecake is just the one, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not generally a fan of cheesecake, but the salted caramel and chocolate cheesecake, I'll make an exception for that.
I'm quite partial to a Victoria sponge. Oh, they're so good. Or a custard slice. You can't go wrong with but the Greggs one.
Ooh.
Yeah, something you can't eat whilst walking though, because you just end up wearing it.
Yeah.
What did you have for tea, Tom?
Burger and chips.
Actually,
it was like No, it was like more potato gratins than chips
Okay.
with onion rings.
Was it nice?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was all right. Biscoff cheese. Oh, now that is a cheesecake. That 100% would you have?
Yeah, definitely. I'll make an exception for that as well in my dislike of cheesecakes. I'd go for that
Have
one.
you had the spread that they do?
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
Yeah.
put that
Please.
on a Biscoff biscuit, mate.
Yeah. No, the kids
Overdose.
absolutely love that.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah. Kids call them biscuit sandwiches.
Ooh,
Mm.
probably not good for you, but oh well.
Almost like a custard cream.
Just giant.
Just gonna go fetch a another one.
Yeah. Yeah, no worries. So how about you, James? Are you doing anything with your Royals this year, or are you just keeping them as pets?
Well, I would like to, but it's what I would do with what. I sort of need. Nice. I would yeah, I'd like to sort of like sit down and write down what I got and what I could pair with what, and
Yeah.
you know, etc. But yeah, I've just not got around to it. I've been doing a lot over that side of the room,
Okay.
which you never see, but you will soon. It's just I got those calyx cubes with the tarantulas in, and then on top the snake vivs, and then on top that a viv again. So moved the tarantulas, which means taking all the stuff out the vivs and off the vivs and the wires behind it. Yeah, there's a wall of it there, so it's not an easy job, but
Yeah.
it's kind of how I want it. But I know in like a month I'll be moving it again. But yeah, I've got to take another trip to IKEA, I think.
Yeah. I've got a long way to go with mine. So I've got the vivs behind me, and I've got some stuff on top of that. And then in the living room, we've got the TV stand. And I think
Yeah.
I was saying about it on one of our first live streams. The missus is trying to commission me to build an all enclosed TV unit / wall unit that's got all the vivariums and stuff built into it.
Right.
So I think that's going to be a big project. Although the bonus is I've just found out that, you know, the place where I'm at now, I'm due to start a new job doing the same thing, but I'm due to start a new job in the same place in the middle of November, which means I'm here for at least another 3 years before I have to
you
move
said
on
that
anywhere
last week,
else.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Is that what you want, or?
Yeah, so and that's the reason why I went for this job. So it maybe doesn't help me sort of career wise in terms of career progression, but it does help me geographically. So I picked it specifically because I got to stay where I was and I didn't have to move.
Right. Okay.
My brother's missus just put this message on here. So just to go back to the black milk snakes. So yeah, with the black milk snakes, everyone goes on about Mexican blacks, the Mexican black king snakes. And they're really popular because they're black and iridescent. But they stay the way they are pretty much. And then they sort of change a little bit. With the black milk snakes, they start off looking like standard milk snakes. And they don't start changing colour until they're about sort of between 6 and 10 months old. So between 6 and 10 months, they'll start changing colour. And eventually, when they reach adulthood or maturity, they go jet black, and they have that same jet black iridescence as the Mexican black king snakes have.
Have you ever seen a sunbeam?
Yeah.
Now that is a snake.
Yeah.
They are beautiful. Wouldn't know where to get
Yeah,
one.
they are. I just can't. I absolutely love the thought of a jet black iridescent rainbow effect snake, and that's the thing that really drew us to the black milk snakes. That and the fact that, you know, Mexican black king snakes, there's quite a few of them around. You can pick them up pretty much at any show or anything else. There's, you know, they're not super common, but they're not super rare either. But the black milk snakes are one of the biggest species of colubrid as well. So out of all the different milk snakes and king snakes and that sort of stuff, they get to a much bigger size than a lot of the others. So they'll top out potentially up to about 7 foot long, whereas most other milk snakes and stuff will top out about 5 foot ish. And they're quite heavy bodied as well. So you've got a really big, chunky, jet black iridescent snake. They're an absolute pleasure to look after and handle. They're fairly easy to maintain. So, and that's, like I said, there's literally none for sale at all anywhere. And I mean, if there's some anywhere, it's going to be on Morph Market, and I've searched Morph Market. There are no true black milk snakes for sale anywhere.
Of all the places I thought you'd find one, that'd be it, but I haven't been on there in a while, actually.
Yeah, I keep my eye on every now and again, because we're looking for another couple of royals. So I want to get another Bell Complex female.
Yeah.
So another Butter, Mojave, Lesser, something like that. Just a single gene Bell Complex female. But I also want to get a Het Lavender Albino female.
Nice.
Because I've got a visual Lavender Albino male.
Yeah.
So I'd really like to try and do something with those. But it's the wrong time of year to start looking for breeding weight females, because everyone's preparing for the next season. There you go. Fingers crossed. My brother's Brazilian rainbow boa will be ready for breeding next year.
Nice.
So, yeah. Yeah, it's a shame you don't live a little bit closer.
In experience, then, what's people's thoughts on GTPs?
Fucking hurts when you get bitten by them.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine that.
I think they're absolutely stunning. And I think for a snake that in its standard form is just one of the most beautiful snakes in the world, but the different color morphs and stuff you can get with GTPs is absolutely unreal. You know, but they come with a hefty price tag.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Not only that, like their head is, I don't know, it's weird. Like their eyes sort of. Yes, I would have one if that's what you're getting at.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean they're good in terms of not needing a massive amount of space for them. They're quite good.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I was about to ask. You know, for someone that obviously hasn't got one, you know, what's basic care for one? Sort of like enclosure wise, on size, and.
So think about the way you keep a chameleon.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the way you keep a chameleon: large, upright, humid, UV light, that sort of stuff.
Bright.
And yeah, so but they are, you know, they have a habit of being a little bit narky.
Have you ever seen inside of one of their mouths?
Yeah.
Not for me.
Yeah. So I got before I was living where I am now, I was living in Aldershot, and there's a pet shop in Aldershot called Reptasia, and the guy that owns it, I know him quite well. I've been going there since he first started it. We've done breeding projects between us with the Royals and stuff before, and you know, we used to go in and help him unbox some like bits and pieces of stock when it came in. And I came unstuck with the GTPs one day because obviously being used to dealing with things like boas and Royals, you know, you can sort of sneak in behind their heads and pick them up, and you can usually avoid getting bitten that way. But the thing with GTPs is they can strike in any direction. So they don't just strike forward like most snakes. They can twist as they strike and stuff like that. So I came a little bit unstuck with that. And yeah, it bloody hurts when they get you. I mean, I've been tagged by the Royals. I've been tagged by boas and that sort of stuff. It doesn't affect me now. If you're dealing with babies when they first hatch out, they're all a little bit bitey, you know, until they get used to being handled and stuff. So I'm kind of used to being nicked every now and again by the baby snakes. But this baby GTP, for the size of it, it was a nasty bite. It's like being smashed by a retic.
In the face.
So, in opinion, then, to go from, obviously, I've only got a corn snake. GTP is probably a little bit out of my league, should we say? Where would it between?
Yeah, I sort of, to a certain extent, I sort of disagree with that. So in terms of people that say about, you know, beginner species and species that are suitable for, you know, beginners or intermediate species and stuff like that, I think if you approach it with a bit of common sense, you appreciate the fact that it's a wild animal, and you're careful and considerate in the way that you deal with them. I don't really think, you know, I don't think any of the stuff that's available over here is really off limits to anyone. I think the only time I'd be a little bit more sort of wary in terms of what I would consider not a beginner species or a more advanced species are the ones that have got like quite difficult and quite constrictive care constraints in terms of their personalities and stuff like that. If you treat it with a bit of respect and you've got a bit of common sense about you and stuff, then you know, you can't look at something like a GTP and go, oh yeah, that's too advanced for me. I'm not ready for something like that. I mean, a lot of it depends on your personal. Yeah, a lot of it depends.
Go at it with like snake hook and that sort of stuff, and you know, be prepared basically. Yeah, as if you would with like a tarantula. You normally have a catch cup or something next to you. Just like be prepared and know what you're going up against, rather than. Yeah,
you just got to have your head screwed on. I think, like.
Yeah, agreed, totally, 100%.
And maybe be like a little bit more wary, like than a Royal.
Yeah,
but they're beautiful.
Yeah,
absolutely. Their eyes are a bit weird. That's, you know, but yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing why people go for things like GTPs is they've got that very, very bright, vibrant color. You know, there's something almost vibrant about them, the way they sit there coiled up around a branch and stuff like that. There's something that's just a little bit mean about the way they look.
Yeah.
And I think that appeals to people.
They sort of sit like that in it, but then their head's always in the middle.
Yeah.
And that, what a picture that is, mine.
Yeah. But then if you want a snake that I think is equally as beautiful, maybe not quite as beautiful, but is, you know, just as aesthetically pleasing to look at, that's got a very similar temperament, doesn't get to quite as big, but, you know, still you keep in the same method and is a fraction of the price. You can't go wrong with things like Amazon tree boas.
Knew you were going to say that. Yeah.
You know, I think they're a massively, massively underrated species.
And that's what I was trying to say, like where I was saying, like where between would you say, like it's not so much like on how to keep them. It was sort of like more directed on, you know, on where you could sort of like get something that was like maybe half the price or fraction of the price, and that, you know, would be, you know, just as good to look at and still be along those same sort of lines as, you know, your
definitely.
arboreal species.
Yeah.
Tom,
Yeah.
is that what's in that Viv over there?
Which one? That one?
Wait,
Well, that one. That one there.
Either one, mate. Either one.
That's my female
That's your
regardless.
Balfours, isn't it?
That one there is.
Oh, that's your Balfours.
That's the 13, and then the 5 little ones are in there. And then the other thing behind me is my female regardless.
Okay.
And I've got 2 little jumping spiders behind me as well.
So, over your right shoulder, I think it's that way.
Yeah.
What's in there? You ain't got to say.
Well, obviously, people that have been watching will know that there used to be something stood here, but I'm not. Well, that's to say that what's in there is still in that one, but it is moved. So something that has gone in that one is something new. Because the other one has.
Watch this space for the video, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah. I look forward to it.
Isn't it annoying though when like you want to know something but someone won't? We will do it. Don't worry about it.
No. Well, that's the thing. Otherwise, there wouldn't be any content to watch, would there?
Very true.
Yeah, I need to massively pull my finger out and do some more videos for my channel.
I mean, I have been dropping hints of things occasionally here and there within people's posts and stuff on Facebook, so they know that there is something, but whether or not they've got what it is.
Look how he's moved the camera right round out the way, so you don't.
There you go.
Do you know what, Tom?
Just in case, you know. Besides that, you know, now that lights have gone off.
Oh, some people, eh? He has a pair. He's gonna sort you one. Babies. Ooh.
Awesome. Yeah, well, you know, me, the missus, and the kids, we really need to pull our finger out and start thinking about getting over there to see you guys anyway. So, you know, we'll have to see how it works out once all this COVID bullshit's gone and sorted. Then people can start moving around a little bit more freely in that. Early next year, after we've bred some of our babies, we might be able to bring some over for you guys.
Well, in about 5 years' time, I'll probably have Bohemies to breed.
And in about 5 years' time, your little island won't be floating anymore, will it? It'd be so heavy.
Yeah, be underwater.
You're just gonna drift off.
As long as I can fit the spiders on the boat, it's all right.
That'd be right.
On a little rubber dinghy floating down.
Might start calling you Noah.
No, because then I've got to limit myself to 2 of everything. I don't think I can do that.
Yeah, but 2 of everything.
So what do you reckon then, Tom? You see yourself getting any more snakes apart from your corn snake?
Well, like I say, I wouldn't mind getting something. I wouldn't mind a milk snake, just because I do kind of like them, and I wouldn't mind a GTP, but obviously the room indoors is very limited, so anything big like that will have to wait at the minute.
Yeah.
And not only that, she's not very fond of snakes, so if I was, then they can't really be in the house.
Fair enough.
In other words, you're going to have to make an extension at a fence.
Oh, there's already
integrated shed
a building stood right next to me, just with no roof.
We'll get a roof on it, Tom.
Yeah,
and
that's
then...
the problem.
Yeah,
That's the problem with it. No, that's next year's project.
well, something to
How
look
about you,
forward to.
James?
And
all of that will probably be videoed as well and put up on the channel at some point to be done as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a few snakes already, didn't you, James? What would you have that you haven't already got that you'd like to add to your collection?
The other half wants a boa, but we ain't got the room, not yet.
Yeah.
So when we move, whenever that may be, definitely a boa. I quite like red tails.
Okay.
I don't know. I just think their patterning is quite cool. Royals, really. I think royals are. Yeah, it's just a snake with a paint job in it, but like they're just really, really nice snakes. And well, yeah, I've got a lot of them. So, well, not as many as you, but yeah, no, I just think they're easy to work with. They're great to handle. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I like them as well. And they're not like hard to look after, are they? You know?
No, they are pretty straightforward. Once you get the little intricacies of keeping them like under your belt, they're actually really, really simple. A lot of people make some really, really fundamental mistakes when they first keep royals, and then they struggle, and then they decide that they're not very good pets. But actually, you know, as long as you like I said, those really basic fundamental issues, as long as you get them right, then they're awesome snakes.
Absolutely.
You know, and the fact that yes, you can get all the different color morphs and that sort of stuff for them, and that is probably what's made them so popular. But I mean, they're just perfect. They're just perfect, don't they? They don't get too big. They don't get too big. They don't need massive enclosures. They're really, really good to look at. You know, they've got a cracking personality and temperament. Yeah, definitely.
I quite like the hog noses as well.
Oh,
I know
that the missus would agree with you, mate. But something about hog nose just.
I don't know what it is.
It's that face. It's not right.
Yeah, I think it is. No, I think it's just you look at it and the face is just too big for the body, and you just think to yourself, yeah, all right.
Well, it's another snake in it that's got no neck. It just goes from head to body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the other ones? Kenyan Samboas are a bit like that as well.
Oh, they're just like a giant worm. Royals of what I got, what would be like a proper snake head, like the same as boas. Do you know the shape? Like,
yeah.
Hognose, what is that? What?
I don't know.
Who? They're all right. I wouldn't say I would go out to buy one.
I think it's just their attitude on them half the time. But it's just that they are so friendly as well. Even though they give you that attitude half the time, you can still just almost pick them up and they just chill straight out almost.
You ever seen
I
one
wouldn't
like
say obviously
turn
all
over,
of them like that. But
Yeah.
turn in, like, oh look at me, I'm dead. Well, you're not. You're wriggling around like it. They ain't got a brain, I swear. All in order, they are.
It's quite
Yeah.
funny talking about snakes with an attitude and that sort of stuff. We said about royal pythons being like really generally quite chilled out and stuff. I mean, as babies when they first hatch out, obviously they can be a bit defensive, but I think one of the most defensive snakes I've got, and no matter how much handling or anything else I've ever given it, is my male pied.
Really?
He's an absolute dickhead. He's a proper douchebag.
My spider's like
almost,
that. Just a twat.
Yeah, it's almost like he's got a permanent feeding response. Like the minute you open the drawer, he's out there, S bending his neck, and he's waiting to have your face.
Yeah.
Maybe
we should go into their enclosure, like what they do to us. Like, do you know what I mean? How they like it.
You see, with most royals, it's fairly straightforward. So if they're looking like they're going to be a little bit snappy, because royals are one of those species of snakes, they can't open their mouth super wide. So generally, the technique to deal with royals is always to go in with like a flat hand.
Yeah.
So if you go in with a flat hand, they can't really close around anything. But he doesn't make a difference. Most of them, once you get close enough to their head, they'll back away. He doesn't. I mean, you can push on his nose to get him out of your way, and he'll still come back for more. He's got a serious attitude, and he's always been that way.
With like a skinhead and a tattoo of like the English flag, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, I mean the only other snake I've got that compares to him in personality is I've got a Vietnamese blue beauty rat snake.
Wow.
And that they are notoriously temperamental. They are, and this one even worse because it's literally never been handled. We got it as an emergency rehome rescue from someone else who was absolutely shit scared of it, petrified of it, so scared of it, in fact, that they wouldn't even take it out of the viv with a hook. Like, it absolutely petrified of the damn thing. So we've taken it on, and we're trying to get it used to being taken in and out of the viv and stuff like that, but she just goes mental. The minute you open the door, she's there. She's trying to get out, and she will take anything that comes near her. The only snake I've ever seen that comes close to that level of aggression is a black mamba.
A black mamba.
Yeah, I've had an opportunity to have a bit of a play about with them out in the wild. So,
you ever heard of a it's called Rainforest Exotics?
No.
It's sort of between. Fact, I don't know where it is, but it's that way. Why am I pointing? It's over that way somewhere. So like Gloucester, maybe Forest of Dean area there.
Okay.
Forest of Dean, that's where it is. Sorry.
Yeah.
Some of the snakes you got in there, like cobras and all that, and like you're not face to face, but there's a piece of glass in the way. But I tell you what a beautiful snake that is, mine.
Yeah.
Just the scales are huge.
Yeah.
You don't realize until you see one, that close, and you're like, he's got some weird stuff.
People think that most species of venomous snakes are relatively small until you see a fully grown king cobra.
Yeah, this
and
thing
realize that they're not that small at all. We're talking about a snake that can easily top out at sort of pushing 12 foot long. It's quite a heavy-bodied snake, easily as heavy-bodied and stuff as a boa can be. That's got a massive head on it and a seriously bad bite.
Pointing like that. Yeah, the one underneath that is the guy who runs the shop.
Yeah. Does anyone know what his last name is?
I don't myself now, but
So I'm just thinking, there's a guy that
is a cracking.
I did like a load of venomous handling and stuff about 10 years ago. Okay, no, different guy. The guy that I did all my venomous handling and stuff with was a guy called Dave Priestley. He used to own an exotics pet shop in Warminster, which is just
Right.
up the road from me now, actually.
Yeah, it's that way for me.
Yeah. So yeah, I had an opportunity to learn a little bit about venomous handling and stuff like that, and he had some fantastic stuff saying about like the cobras and that. He used to breed a lot of rattlesnakes, and he was one of the first people in the UK to produce albino scaleless western diamondback rattlers. That was a weird looking snake. Snake. He also used to have this big Gaboon viper. You ever seen them?
Pictures, not. Yeah,
they are just the most stunning species of snakes ever. Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. And if you like a snake that's got a well-defined head on it, you can't go wrong with a Gaboon viper.
Absolutely.
And this thing was like a dream as well. It was almost puppy dog tame. You know, for a snake that would do you some serious damage if it took a chunk out of you, it was just so super chilled out.
I quite like, pit vipers.
Yeah.
I mean, they're beautiful. They really are.
Yeah. Again, it's that chunky body and well-defined head, isn't it?
Yeah, and just okay. I'm looking at them here now. You've seen in one of their maps. Them teeth are long.
Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that. Okay, that's just crazy.
Yeah, you'd really know about it if they sunk their fangs into you, like.
He's got that guy which I was on about then. He's got another. He's got another snake. I don't know what it is, but it's something redhead or black and red. I can't remember. Let me. He might know. But yeah, there's not. Do you know what? I can't think of the name of it. Let's see if he knows. Oh. Yeah, would that snake be on there though? Do you know the one I'm on about? It's next to the cobra. The thing with two pieces of glass on it. It's that snake. I think there's only like one or two of them in the UK. That's that they know of.
Okay.
But it is. Oh, what a sight that is! It's huge. It's in a Viv, but got like this extra piece of wood coming out with like another piece of glass on it.
Okay.
Just in case it.
Wow.
Let me see if I can find out what it is. Talk amongst yourself, guys.
There you go. You just said, there you go. I'll just pop that one up.
Yeah, that's the other side. Yeah, I know what you.
While you're having a look at that, James, I'm just going to nip and
Such a
make
good
another
shot.
cup of coffee.
I mean,
Need a refill.
you carry on. No, that's the Cobra. That's a Chameleon. Chameleon. Oh. You know what? I might just have to go there tomorrow and just take a picture of it to show you. I think that's it. No, that ain't it. I'll just go there tomorrow and show you what it is. Should we go there tomorrow?
Yeah, why not?
All right, Tom's coming as well, apparently.
Yeah, I'll come.
That'd be a road trip for you, Mike. Well, actually, how far is it?
Wouldn't know.
Ross-on-Wye, the place is called.
Rossum Way.
Ross-on-Wye, yeah.
Uh, 2 hours 40 minutes.
Oh, that's far. The other side of the world. No, that's not.
Well, it's not really that far.
Yeah, not far there, but then it's going back, isn't it? So you add that on and it turns into a long way pretty quick.
What have I missed?
Not much, really. We're just discussing me taking a road trip up there.
Okay.
He said,
it
how
sounds
long
like,
would it take?
But we're
sounds
taking
like
like all
something I'd
day.
like to go and check out.
Yeah, it's about 2 hours 40 minutes for me to drive there from here.
I think I'm slightly closer.
Might have to open a window, 1 sec.
Where would you like to go?
Gosh,
So what down there?
thinking about maybe checking out Rainforest Exotics.
How far is it for you?
I'm not sure, so I'm just gonna have a quick look now, see roughly how long it take me to get there.
Ross-on-Wye, the place is.
Ross-on-Wye. So look.
Yeah. Who's got a cricket?
That's me. So yeah, it's an hour and a half for me.
Oh, it's not too bad.
Yeah, that's my crickets are sat in a tub just on the end of the shelf behind me. So much for silent crickets, eh?
I know. I was trying to work out whether or not it was coming from over the other side of the room from the speaker from someone or next to me. Because I was sat there earlier and all I could hear was mine. So
yeah. Well, considering the equipment, the audio and visual equipment that I'm using is pretty crap. The microphone on this is quite sensitive. I mean, I know you guys were being like absolutely deafened last week by that fucking wind chime that was going on.
Oh my god, that was so loud.
I didn't realise that until I watched parts of the video back and actually heard it. It was insane.
Yeah.
So I've taken it down this week.
Oh, you ain't got to do that. Sorry for the ones who had earphones in, like, Christ, what the?
Oh, Jesus.
Needs a warning sign across the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
Well, I can't seem to win with this. This laptop I'm using is supposed to be a half decent laptop. I mean, it's only sort of 3-year-old. I know 3-year-olds like mega old for most technology these days. But it was quite a high spec laptop when it came out. But like the camera and stuff in it's really shit. So I've had to get like a separate webcam that's a little bit better quality than the original VGA camera that's built in.
Mm.
I need to think about spending out some money on some decent audio and visual equipment.
Get one of these. Oh, that's really close. I'm sorry.
I couldn't see what that was.
Yeah, I can't see because it's really close, but that's part of a microphone.
Okay, right, okay. So you got one of those like omnidirectional USB microphones.
That plugs into like a little box around there. Again, I'm
Okay.
pointing in, you can't see. And then that goes into the laptop. I'm not using it now, but on some videos I do. But you know if
Yeah.
I use it and if I don't, because you're like, oh, what? You sound different. This makes me sound like I'm on the radio. I'm like, yeah, it just sounds really weird.
So I've got for most of my videos, because I do all of my recording on my mobile. So everything's done from my mobile phone. But for that, because the microphone on it's not super sensitive. So if it's more than sort of 10 or 12 inches away from my face, it doesn't pick up sound very good. So I've got one of those like clip-on lapel mics.
Yeah, they're good. They are. Yeah.
And I was really surprised actually, because I mean I think I paid about $14.99 for it on Amazon. And the sound quality is like phenomenal. I was really surprised with how clear and stuff it is, and it does cancel out all the background noise and all that sort of stuff. So, but unfortunately, it don't work in a laptop because I don't have a microphone port in the laptop. I've only got a headphone port. So,
right. You can get a converter thing which does both.
Yeah.
And some sorts it out inside. I did because I had the same issue with mine.
Yeah, I've got a headset that's got a microphone and stuff attached to it. But
that's it there. So that goes into the, and then it's got the microphone and the headphones on the end of it. But it worked. And I was like 99p from China. All right, it took a month to get there, but it still got here.
Yeah. So I need to. I've seen a half decent camera that I want to get. It's just like it's specifically designed for video blogging and stuff like that.
Okay.
And it's under 100 quid. It's 4K HD.
Wow.
It's got like all the night mode settings on it and everything else. Comes with like spare batteries, remote control for being able to like pan and zoom from a distance and bits and pieces like that. I mean, it doesn't really affect me for most of the stuff that I do because the videos on my channel, I'm not really on the videos. It's mostly sort of looking down over what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like I need to start doing a little bit of better quality footage.
I overuse a GoPro
Okay.
or this.
All right.
Yeah, I ever use that or that one.
That's
But-
pretty smart.
You don't necessarily. No, this one is. This one here is. Oh my god. This is just ridiculous. Look at the size of this thing.
Jesus. What's that?
It's like a weapon.
What model's that?
Sony.
Yeah.
But that is like, I mean, I can't use that in this room. It's like from one side. Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that I need to get for my DSLR is a decent macro lens.
Yeah.
But they're expensive. They're not cheap.
They're quite expensive. And
I
then
mean, I know
just
you can get
recently,
the adapters and stuff.
yeah, and I just recently invested in this.
Yeah, they're supposed to be quite good.
I'll face it that way so it don't blind you. But
Jesus.
that's on like half power, and
Mhm.
if I was to sit, I can't even look at it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's bright. But yeah, that was like, oh my word, that was, I don't know, about 15, I think. But that will
Okay.
sit on top of there where
Yeah.
that one is. So,
Yeah.
with a camera, I think like people say the more you spend, better you get, but it's not always like that, really.
No. I mean, I've got a decent quality DSLR camera that takes absolutely phenomenal quality photographs, but nothing in like really, really close up, because obviously I haven't got a specific lens for that. And that's the downside to doing stuff with a DSLR. You do need the specific lenses for the specific jobs.
The one with the mic on, which I showed you, this one here.
Yeah.
When I record, say like this way,
Yeah.
I can't see what I'm recording because the screen, it tilts and moves, but it don't flip round.
Yeah.
So it's all guesswork,
Yeah.
which is annoying, but I'm in the market for a flippy roundy screen.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's why this other camera that I've been looking at's handy, because it's got the rotating and pivoting screen on it and stuff, so you can see what's in frame while you're recording, which I think
so
really
much
helps.
better.
Yeah, it's not really helped very much with a phone at the moment, because I've completely cracked all the screen on it and everything else, and there's a nice crack running right through the middle of the glass that's on the front-facing camera. So everything that you try and record on the front-facing camera now is really blurry.
Yeah. Does it record with the line on it?
No, it's just really blurry. It doesn't focus properly.
What light are you using behind the light that's on you?
It's like a ring light on a tripod. I'll just pull it down and see if it'll reach. So it's
like this.
This thing.
Yeah. They're all right, aren't they? Really?
Well, I can't really complain. I think I paid. What did I pay for that? Just over a tenner on eBay.
Yeah, that's what this one was.
I'm using an Exoterra bayonet.
Are you actually?
Yeah.
No way, that's sick. That's so good.
Yeah, well, if I switch, hold on. Oh, it's not much different, but
There is.
Yeah. Yeah, that Exoterra light, when that's on, it looks much more much more like natural light, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Oh, that is brilliant. I love that.
Yeah, I just
What
have
a
to deal with the glare coming off the laptop screen, and then the light that bounces off my fucking forehead.
Can you not turn like with mine? I can do this, so I can sort of turn it right the way down.
Yeah, so
That's so bright. Okay, now it's like looking at the moon.
so that's adjusted onto its lowest setting now.
Right.
Hey, Tanya.
Do you have coloured modes on yours? Like this?
Say again? Yeah, so I can change it between like sort of like white, then it's got like a mixed natural daylight, and then it's got like a really yellowish coloured one.
Yeah. They're good for the money.
So super white, then it's got super yellow, and then somewhere in between.
Did you say Tanya was here?
Yeah, Tanya's here.
Hello, Tanya.
I said to people at the very start of it, like the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I showed
Hi,
them
Tanya, how you
and then
doing?
come back. I said, if you want to watch, then you can rewind. And but yeah, I had nothing else other than a spare Exoterra bayonet. So I was like, well, that would do.
Mate, if it works, use it. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I've got. Well, no, not now, I haven't, because I've just changed all the setup, but that's what I had up in the snake room. So I had an Arcadia fluorescent tube starter, and then I had a 10% UVB fluorescent tube that was lighting the snake room. So that was really nice bright light. When I switched all that around and put a new light fitting in, I put a standard bulb in, and you really can tell the difference.
Yeah.
So I had to upgrade to some little screw fit LED bulbs to get back to that more natural looking light.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Tanya, very much.
Sorry, James.
Where's the wife?
There.
It's just a hi.
Why am I trying to look around like to say hello?
Hi, Jane.
How you doing? All right? That was a bit daft of me, wasn't it? Like trying to look around there.
Oh, we're at a record for the session. 6 viewers.
Wow. Yeah, when I'm thinking about redoing my Crested Gecko tank, so I'm thinking about like using the Jungle Dawn LED lights.
They're pretty good. They're expensive though.
Yeah, I know they're a little bit.
In this hobby?
Say that again.
Isn't everything expensive in this hobby?
Getting that way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean we've just put 2 new vids together and bought all the light fittings and all those bits and pieces for it. And for two new vids, the light fittings, the light bulbs, and the substrata to go in them and that sort of stuff was just shy of 300 quid.
Yeah.
It is an expensive hobby.
I mean, well,
It hurts, doesn't it?
Yeah.
you see, I just bought that new light. I mean, that was
Okay.
45 quid.
Is that one of those? Is that one of those little T5?
Yeah.
T5 kits? Yeah, they're not bad.
Yeah. Which you can actually link 10 of them together.
Yeah.
Which is quite good.
Yeah, they're good because they don't use a massive amount of power, to be fair.
10 of them at 45 quid a go.
Yeah, but you know, if you've got 10 tanks,
I want to take shares out in the company for that, wouldn't
you? True. Right, I've got to feed some snakes, so I'll stay here, but I won't be here. I can still hear you.
Yeah, that's cool, dude.
Just because they're all looking at me like, come on.
Yeah, so as starts tomorrow, we've got a frozen order turning up tomorrow, so we'll be doing a load of snake feeding then.
I've got a bucket full of mice.
Where do you guys get all your frozen stuff from?
I get it from my
local reptile shop.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, so the places that are local to us, it's shockingly expensive to get rodents, and obviously with the amount of snakes and stuff that we've got, you're looking at, well, if we get it from our local pet shop, you're looking at 60-70 quid a feed.
What?
Yeah. Well, that's the plus side of, like, I suppose only having one corn snake.
Although we have just ordered some stuff from Ridgeway Frozen. So you got Ridgeway Exotics down Portsmouth way, innit?
Yeah, that's where I get all my stuff from.
Yeah. So actually, to be fair, with the prices that they sell their bits and pieces at, it's a lot cheaper now ordering from them and having it delivered than what it is for us to go and pick it up from the local pet shop.
Well, for us, it's about 15 minutes drive up the road.
Okay.
So that's where I get all my live food from. Well, I say all my live food, like 90% of it, and all my frozen stuff for the snake.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. This is the first time I've ordered anything from them, so we'll see how it turns up when it turns up tomorrow. And I think, to be honest with you, I think that's where we're gonna be going from now on. Because like I say, 60 quid a feed from our local pet shop is the equivalent of like 37 quid from Ridgeway. So add a tenner onto that for delivery, it's still a lot less than what we'd spend going and picking it up local. And if we're feeding every 7 to 10 days, that mounts up in a month, doesn't it?
Do you have one Pacific snake that you don't like feeding?
I don't personally. No, the missus does.
I have, and I'm about to do it now.
Which one's that for you?
A yellow belly spectre.
Okay. So super stripe.
It's just, oh god, it's just on edge. I gotta leave it in there. Like I can't.
So we've got a Mojave female, big Mojave female, and she's always had a bit of an attitude. I generally tend to be all right with her, but for some reason, every time the missus goes in to try and feed it, it takes a disliking and tries to bypass the food and go for her instead.
Yeah.
So.
Waiting for me to scream. Come on. Would I do something like? Shh.
Not live, anyway.
Yeah.
But no, I think I'm going to start doing that. I think I'm going to do like when we do this next lot of feeding, I might have a wander through and get a video of feeding some of them, because like describing what their personality is like, it's not the same as being able to like see it for yourself. So I think we'll do a video I'll probably do a tour of the snake room as well, sort of showing what we've got in there and what an average snake feeding day's like for us, and I'll stick that on the channel.
I think that would be good, because I don't think people will expect how many you got.
Well, you can see one of the videos on my channel. You can sort of see, like, the video starts off in the snake room. It's the same video that I've done the breeding of the Balfouris in. And the start of that video, you can see it sort of starts off in the snake room, and it has a quick sort of pan around at the racking system and all that. So you get a rough idea of what's in the rack, and that's got, what's that got in it? 29, 30 slots in that racking system.
Yeah.
And that's full up, apart from four of the rubs that are in it. So that's the royals that are in there. And then obviously we've got the rest of the stuff that's in Viv's in the house. So I'll definitely do a snake room tour and a snake feeding video and stick that on.
Whereas mine would be nice and quick. The one making that'll be it. You're over and done within like 30 seconds. That's it. And believe it or not, you know, you give him a large mouse to eat, and that's it. It's gone. Yeah.
So actually, saying that, James was saying about snakes that I don't particularly like feeding. When I said that I don't have any, that's technically not true. There's one that's a little bit. There's one that's a little bit like touchy for me. And you remember we were talking before? I said about the Green Mountain racing snakes that I've got.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so the female's pretty cool. When you go to feed her, she's, you know, she'll take the food, she'll strike. They're very, very quick little snakes. But the male basically coils himself up like a spring, waits for you to open the door, stick the mouse in or rat in or whatever it is that you're feeding him, and he tries to bounce out of the door. He just wants to escape all the time, and he's very, very fast. So
yeah.
From that side of it, I guess that's the one I'm on edge with the most when we feed him, because he likes to try and do a bolt.
Do you have any, it might sound a bit weird, but actually maybe I shouldn't say it on here. I'll, well, no, I better not say it on here just in case they're, you want to know now, don't you? Oh,
yeah.
Some of mine, well, in fact, one won't eat a specific color, if that makes sense.
Right, okay. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
Why? But there's only one. All the others ain't bothered, but
so I've experienced that as well. I have experienced that.
He'll only eat the other type, not the not the same as my shirt, like, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
it's so strange. I don't know why.
No. Yeah, so we found out with the Maltese when we were breeding the Maltese for feeding, because we started breeding them and then gassing them down and stuff. But the missus decided she wanted to try and genetically engineer our Maltese. So she got all of the pied ones, the ones that were a mix of brown and white, or grey and white, or whatever else. And she took the ones that had the most white in them and put them all together. And then took the ones that had the most grey in them and put them all together. And eventually, over the last couple of years, we've created two completely different genetic lines of Maltese. One that are completely pure white and one that are all grey. And yeah, surprisingly enough, the snakes do have a preference.
It's weird, isn't it?
Mine doesn't.
Yeah.
Mine doesn't ever care.
Oh. Do all your strike feed with no dramas, James?
What's that? Sorry.
Your snakes, do they all strike feed with no dramas, or do you have to drop feed some of them?
Apart from the spider, I don't allow it because it due to the condition, obviously. So I don't want to injure that, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, they all will. I mean, I sort of let them do it, and then next week I won't. I'll just put it in, drop it. Like, I don't want to get into that habit of when I go into the enclosure.
Yeah.
You know, I feed through the left and I enter through the right if I'm doing any maintenance or water bowls, etc. So that normally is all right, but yeah, I mean, they will do it. Yeah. It's when it comes straight at you, you're like, oh,
yeah.
You know, it's it's not always great.
Yes, it's really weird with that. So none of ours will drop feed.
Really?
If they don't strike for it, and you just put it in and leave it, they won't get eaten.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, that yellow belly spectre is just looking at it. It's like face to face with it, but it's just looking at it. They're all right, mine. Do you have one or?
Say again?
Do you have a yellow belly spectre?
And we did have. So when I bought the breeding collection, so bought it off of somebody that was selling up. Although there's not very much left from that now. That was, how long ago was that, Diana? So that was probably pushing about 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. We basically bought a collection off of somebody, and there was a super strike in that.
It was a what, sorry?
Super strike. So yellow belly spectre, super strike.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a male in that. That was back when they were worth like $2.5 grand.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not.
So yeah. No, in fact, I saw one go in the other day for, I think it was something silly like 150 quid for a 400 gram male. So it's shocking the way the prices have come down with some of them.
Yeah.
But again, massively underrated species. I mean, you put two snakes that look very, very much like wild types or normals, a yellow belly and a spectre, and individually they look basically just look like normals, really. You put them together and then produce something that looks like a super stripe. I think that's amazing.
Yeah. Ours is all right. It is. He don't like being handled, but
yeah.
Like,
how old is he? How big is he?
He is. In fact, I'll tell you. Nearly 2.
Okay.
But when you're holding him, he'll sort of like strike up at you, and you're like, oh,
wow,
whoa.
How big is he? What sort of size, weight is he?
Weight, no idea. Size wise, I'm not going to be able to show you because they're linked to the ring, but he's. Do you know what? I'll measure him and weigh him, and then I'll let you know.
Cool. What temperature are you keeping him at?
He is at about 26.
Has he got is that just the ambient temperature? Has he got a mat on?
Yeah.
That's cool. So one of the things that I did find out with the Royals, you know, when we had that heat wave a little while back.
Yeah.
The snake room went up to about 34 degrees
Wow.
Like even with a fan on and cooling it down, everything was super warm. And I found that a lot of the royals, although they're perfectly capable of handling temperatures like that, because obviously temperatures in Africa where they come from go much higher than that anyway.
Yeah.
But they do tend to get a little bit more in your face, if you like, when they're a little bit on the warm side.
Yeah, but then like, so the lesser that side, she always wants to come. Well, she's, you know, she'll let you get her out and handle her for ages. But when you put her back, she'll go in around the enclosure and try to come back out.
Okay.
Like, she just seems to love coming out. But yeah, I don't know. They're all different, really.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. And that's one of the things that I always say to my mates and all that sort of stuff when they say like, "Oh, what's the point in keeping spiders? They're just spiders." You know, they do have personalities. You know, they do have their own individual quirks and stuff like that. They're not just what people assume they are. They're just boring and you can't interact with them or anything else. I mean, in terms of snakes and reptiles, obviously, I handle all my snakes and reptiles and stuff, but I don't handle the spiders. I'm not a fan of handling. I don't think spiders get any benefit from it, to be honest. I think it's risky for both the animal and the person that's handling.
Wow, that's better.
Right, that's that lot out the way.
All right, Tanya's off. Take care, Tanya. Good night. Thanks for joining
Bye,
us.
Tanya.
I don't build a snake then. You done there? Hey? Yeah.
I'll be there now.
Well, it's just done. Yeah.
So what's the rest of the week looking like for you, Tom?
I never know. That's the thing with my job. Obviously, you just turn up in the morning, get given your job, and you go off and do it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, there's the odd occasion where you're on a job for longer than a day, but most of the time, just turn up. Yeah, well, it's quite nice moving around sometimes, I suppose.
Yeah, how far do you travel for work?
Up to about an hour and a half away. But yeah, the majority of our work's obviously all local, within about 40 minutes drive, I suppose.
Okay.
Still far enough, but
Yeah, it's not too bad though. Yeah, I'm off now until I'll be back in work. Probably Wednesday, Thursday. Find myself
so do
something
you
to
ever
do.
find that? Do you find that sometimes the snakes can be picky on when they eat and when they don't? Then,
Yeah,
or do they all,
sometimes.
or do they eat like on a regular basis?
Most of them all pretty much eat like quite regularly. There's a couple of them that are a little bit fussy. The only time I really have any sort of worries is sort of as it gets on the other side of the winter cooling period for the royals. The males tend to go through like a seasonal fast when it's breeding season. So yeah, that can be quite frustrating because sometimes you get males that won't eat for 6 months, and they'll refuse everything that you offer them for 6 months, and they're solely intent on one purpose and one purpose alone. And they just won't feed.
The only one that's been like that is my Enchi.
Okay.
That was nearly 8 months, and I was a bit like, do you know what I mean? You're sort of.
Is that male?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I first started keeping the royals, I wasn't expecting that, and obviously as soon as they pick up on the pheromones from a female, that triggers them into that sort of wanting to breed. They want to breed then. So if you've got an adult female or a near adult female anywhere near your males, then there's a good chance that they might go for a seasonal fast, sort of anywhere between sort of January to March, right up through to September, October time, sometimes.
Yeah. They're all in like the same sort of room, but
yeah,
the males are one side, the females are the other. Yeah, I know it sounds, but and the Enchi's just right the other end on his own, as far away from him as I can get him.
So I've tried to set my rack up to mitigate that. Obviously, it's a bit difficult because they're in a closed room, but with the air circulation in the room, everything sort of goes up and out in terms of the airflow. So I've got all the females at the top of the rack and all the males at the bottom, so you don't have the pheromones from the females drifting past all the males.
Yeah.
Doesn't really make much of a difference, and there's a few of them that will feed right the way through with no dramas, but some of them are really, really fussy and they just won't eat at all. So you just got to keep an eye on them really and make sure they don't lose a drastic amount of weight. They can handle it because they can control their own metabolisms and that sort of stuff. How about yours, Tom? Any dramas getting yours to feed? Or is it always quite happy to?
Eats every time on point every week, no problems, or every 2 weeks.
What corn is it?
I couldn't tell you. I'm
Oh.
no good with things like that. I know the guy did tell me originally when I bought it, but
I love my corn.
Something we don't actually have any of in our collection is any corn snakes.
I like them. They're Oh, all right.
Hmm.
They're a standard across the board snake.
Yeah. Yeah, very popular.
You know, they don't get overly big.
No.
You know, as in size-wise or anything really. They're quite easily manageable. You do get the odd defensive one, I suppose, but it's like with anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the way they rattle their tails when they're pissed off.
When they vibrate it, it's so funny. Isn't it? Look at me, I'm a rattle. No, you're. Behave yourself.
That's one I'd like to add to the collection, actually. Next one I think we'd like to try and get is a false water cobra.
Yeah.
They're pretty smart.
They are very smart. Definitely. Yeah, I like them.
Do you know what? If I had the space, there's so much stuff I'd love to add to the collection.
Do you ever, obviously you've watched a snake eat all the way down. You know when like the tail just hangs out?
Yeah.
Ain't that funny? Because it looks like
Yeah.
your tongue is like twice as long.
I'll have to see if I can. I'll have to see if I can dig it out. But we used to have a boa that refused point blank to eat anything head first. So everything that it ate always went arse end first. So the missus got a really, really good picture one day of this snake just sat face onto the camera with the head and front legs of a rat just hanging out of his mouth.
Oh, that's brilliant.
It looked like a rat that was wearing a snake costume. It was funny as fuck.
I'd like to see that. Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah, we'll have to see if we can dig that out. That was cool. But yeah, quite often you give them a feed and stuff, and you end up with like a tail just hanging out.
Mm.
Got a gecko that does that with crickets and roaches quite often, just legs sticking out the side of its mouth.
Yeah, my leopard does that.
Yeah.
You haven't got anything that's fussy on anything, like won't eat rats or won't eat mice or will only eat chicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. So I've got the two green mountain racers. I can't remember which way round it is again now, but it's either the male or the female. One of them refuses point blank to eat anything other than rats. It won't take mice.
It's kind of strange, isn't it, that even they can find their own preference on what they prefer.
Yeah.
Or what they will actually eat.
Yeah.
Well, could you eat the same food every single day for the rest of your life?
Not really, no.
Yeah, I guess like mixing it up a bit in it, like give them a mouse, give them a rat, flavor. I don't know.
I've always tried to do that. I've always tried to do that with mine. Now with the Royals, I don't feed them mice at all. I don't feed them mice because mice isn't actually very good for Royals.
Yeah.
So I always feed rats if I can. The best thing for them, if you can get them for Royals, is Maltese.
They're expensive.
They are a bit expensive. But I mean, in terms of nutritional value, so the way it breaks down is like if you feed a mouse to a royal python, because of the way they break them down, they will get about 30% of the nutritional value of the mouse. If you feed a rat to a royal python, they'll take about 50 to 60% of the nutritional value. If you feed a multi to a royal python, they get about 80% of the nutritional value. So it's based on that. If you feed them mice too often for royals, it's basically like giving them McDonald's every day. It's not very healthy for them. Rats are somewhere in between. That's like an average. sort of meal, but it's like multis are their staple diet. That the part of Africa that royal pythons come from, the most common rodent there is the multi mammoth.
Yeah.
So it's what they're evolutionary and genetically made to eat, basically.
Chicks aren't they're not good for them either, are they? There's nothing.
No. So again, chicks, it's like an empty meal. Chicks are really good if you've got a fussy royal and you need to get it to pack on a bit of weight quite quickly, because you can feed them a chick every sort of 2 or 3 days. They digest them really quick.
Yeah.
So you can sort of go every sort of, if they're feeding, you know, when you're getting them back up after breeding season, you can give them one every sort of, like say, every 3, 4, 5 days, and they'll take them. And there's not a huge nutritional value to them, but it does get them back into that feeding cycle.
Yeah. One sec, I can hear doggy whining.
Yeah, I'll just let mine back in because he's scrapping at the back door.
What do you want?
So truthfully, then, like you're saying that rats are basically a better stable diet for most snakes across the board.
Yeah.
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 I mean, in terms of price, mice are much cheaper. So most people generally tend to go with mice because you can get jumbo mice and they work out, you know, sort of 50 pence each. They're cheaper than getting rats or multis. So a lot of people will get mice. But for things like corn snakes and most colubrids, mice aren't an issue. So they'll get just as much nutritional value from a
Sorry.
Yeah, they'll get just as much nutritional value from a mouse as they'll get from a rat for a corn snake and stuff. But with royals, for some reason, they just don't seem to uptake as much of the nutrients from a mouse as they do from a rat.
I think because there's more to a rat, like they're more.
Yeah, they're a bit more solid.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was getting at.
Bigger bone structure and stuff. They're a little less spindly.
I mean, I like years ago, you know, like I had a corn and it was only fed on mice, but it was all right. You know,
Yeah.
It was, I think, 14 maybe when it died.
Okay.
But we had it for 14 years, so whoever had it before, I don't know, you know, but yeah, it did all right. It was
Yeah,
big.
well, I say for colubrids and most other species of snakes, you know, mice are fine. Just seems to be like with royals and boas. Although to be fair, with boas, you ain't going to be feeding them mice for very long because, you know, it's kind of pointless after a certain point, isn't it? They look at it and what's that? That's not a feed.
What's that? My starter is that?
Yeah, our big boas on rabbits now.
Yeah. Have you ever fed a quail?
No, I've never fed anything quails. I know a lot of people do.
Yeah. I watched someone do it the other day. Oh, what a mess. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Everywhere.
Yeah. I bought a royal a few years back. We got a pair of them. There's a pair of Het Lavender albinos. The male would take whatever you offered him, but the female, for some reason, had only ever been fed chicks, and it was the only thing that she would eat was chicks.
Right.
And the person that I got them from was like, no, you know, no matter how hard that they'd tried, they'd never been able to switch it on to anything else. They'd never been able to get it to eat anything else. And after a couple of months, we had it eating the same as what everything else was eating, whatever we offered it.
Yeah, my spider, when I got that, the guy said it had only ever been fed on chicks. So I tried a rat, nothing. But
Yeah.
when I was frosting them, I'd put chick over the top of the rat.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
In about a month, it was on them. But
yeah, scenting's really
always ways
really
around.
effective. Yeah.
Yeah, always ways around it.
So we found that with some of the ones that we'd got that had only ever been fed on things like Maltese, because Maltese are great for feeding them on. But if you get a Royal Python that's only ever been fed on Maltese, you can very, very rarely get it to eat anything else.
Yeah, that's right.
Luckily enough, we breed Maltese, so we managed to get it feeding. But obviously, because of the amount of snakes that we keep now, we don't breed enough rodents to feed just from what we breed.
Yeah.
So we had to start getting them switched on to taking other stuff. So one of the things that we found that was quite effective was taking like a handful of sawdust from the cage that the Maltese were in, and after you defrosted your rat, rolling it in the sawdust so it picks up the scent of the Maltese, and we were finding that was quite effective. So scenting works quite well.
My garter snake, when we got that, it was fed on trout.
Okay.
So yeah, it was only not that big, but do you know what I mean? It was only little. So we were defrosting the trout over a pinky.
Right.
Again to get the scent, and he's all right now, like, but
yeah,
he's a pain in the ass. Oh, I'll tell you what, there's certainly stunning snakes, but
yeah,
just hard to work with. Like, picky is the word.
Yeah.
Do you have any centipedes, Tom?
No.
No. Do you want one, Tom?
It's not actually something that I'm overly fussed with.
No. They're weird looking things, mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're mean as well. You watch them the way they hunt.
Yeah, I threw a dubia in there last night, and there's no need to be that aggressive with that, is there? Come on. It sort of grabbed it, lifted it up, shoved it into the ground, and then just rolled.
Yeah.
But like, it was right against the glass, and you can see that. Be gentle with it, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even the tarantula's not like that with it.
No.
Well,
no. Centipedes are proper freaky looking things.
I find scorpions fascinating.
Yeah.
In fact, they got like a weapon at the front and a weapon at behind, but yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon they're great.
Yeah, scorpions are pretty cool. You see some of the bigger ones as well with the bigger, more powerful claws, and they will literally just tear stuff apart.
Yeah. My desert hairy, like that, when it shoves the sting in, you're like, oh,
yeah,
I bet that hurt. And they glow in the dark. Well, not glow in the dark, but they obviously react to a black light, which is
that is pretty cool.
somewhat different.
That's it. And yet, still no one knows why.
No, they've been looking into that as well, haven't they? Because they've found like fossilized scorpions, and even after millions of years, whatever the chemical is that's in them still luminesces under black light.
It's so weird, isn't it?
That's mental.
So it's basically just whatever then goes into their exoskeleton.
You know, you said earlier, one of your snakes edit ass first.
Yeah.
My banana's doing that right now. It can't quite work it out though.
No, they usually find that they get stuck at the back legs. They don't. It takes them a little while to figure it out.
We had it, and it. She's just chucking it about everywhere. He's like doing that with it.
You probably find you'll spit it out in a minute and start again.
The bananas enclosure the other day, really nice. Went downstairs with a massive bang, and I was like, "What was that?" Went up, and I put like this Buddha in there. It's pretty big. He had knocked it over, and like literally the head had just come off. So
oh my god!
That, and you just destroyed it. So I took it out, I glued the head, and I've just left it over there now. But it was in there for about 5 minutes. Being bitten by a centipede. No, I can imagine that.
No. I've never been bitten by anything that I've owned except for a few of my snakes who get a bit nippy when they're babies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then a baby leopard gecko scared the shit out of me. I mean, the thing was only about 6 days old. And I went to drop a cricket in and it jumped up and bit my finger. I shit you not, this tiny little leopard gecko. Such a massive personality.
I felt the same when I got bit by the chameleon and the crested gecko once. I've been bit by both of them.
Yeah.
And, it's a little bit of a shock more than anything because you don't expect it to have sharp teeth as it does.
No.
On both of them.
No.
I can tell you
stepson. My stepson, when he was working at a reptile shop, got bitten by a tokay gecko.
Oh, sod that.
They're evil. And they don't let go either. Once they're on, they're on. That's it. They don't want to let go.
Good afternoon, Lee. I did that one for you because you always ask. So before you ask, there it is. I'll do it properly for you. Ready? Oh, he loves it.
Must be. Yeah.
Someone asked me how I came up with that, and I was like, I don't know. I just did it, and it just stuck.
Yeah,
one of the first shows I went.
One of those little things for me, watching other people salute, it kind of makes me a bit twitchy.
One of the first shows I went to, there was maybe 3 or 4 different people. Now, I didn't know these people, but they were doing it as they were walking around. And it wasn't until I was on the way and I was like, why were they doing? Oh, and then it clicked. I was like, how rude was that? I didn't even do it back or wave or anything. I kind of felt, yeah. But next time I will.
I suppose when you find something that sticks and works, you stick by it.
Yeah.
That's it. I might do a new intro. I don't know.
Start it as season 2.
You know what? A lot of people's doing that. And it's almost like, yeah, I quite like the idea of it.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not being bitten by any people.
That's Miss is off to go and feed the sugar gliders now.
Well jealous, like. That is a video you need to do. Oh my god.
Yeah, I need to wait until they chill out a little bit more now. So we've got the trio, and she's got two of them that have, like, because they take a while to bond with you before they like trust you and come out and that sort of stuff. And she's got two of them that are really cool. You know, they'll come out, they'll take food from her hand, they'll sit on her hand while she's out there with them and that sort of stuff. But there's one of them who just is an absolute dickhead. And every time she goes in there to try and like give him some food and stuff, he attacks the food like it's an enemy, takes it and fucks off. So the other two will come out, but this one just refuses point blank. He's just decided that he's not going to bond. He's just staying away.
How big's their enclosure?
So it's, what is it? So it's 4 foot high by 3 foot wide by 2 foot deep.
Oh, okay.
So it's quite a big cage. It's sort of size cage you'd put like a big parrot or something like that in.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's plenty big enough for him. It's got loads of hides and all the other bits and pieces in it.
They are so cool, aren't they?
They are awesome. They're cute as a button as well. The only issue with the cage was the cage that we got for them. The bars in the cage were a little bit too wide, so they could actually squeeze between the bars of the cage.
Right.
So I ended up having to go and get a load of Avery mesh and line the inside of the cage with all the Avery mesh. That took fucking hours.
Would you ever get a parrot or a bird or something like that?
I want to keep finches. So when I was a kid growing up, my dad used to keep zebra finches. He used to breed them. So loads and loads of different, like, various morphs of zebra finches. And I've always had a thing about zebra finches. So I'd really like to keep zebra finches. The missus wants to get a parrot. But then she wants everything. She wants parrots. She wants budgies. She wants a monkey. She wants Tenrex.
A monkey?
Yeah, she like keeps looking at like marmosets and capuchin monkeys and that sort of stuff.
Oh, I thought you meant like orangutans and a baboon or something. Imagine that, just chilling on the sofa like, hey.
Right. So,
big ape back there.
Yeah. But yeah, there's like I said, there's loads and loads of stuff that if we had the space for, we'd have it.
I want a giraffe.
You need a fair old bit of space for that, like.
Yeah, because no one wants a giraffe, do they? Like, so I'll take it in. I don't mind. If there's one going, it'll be right.
I just moved to a zoo. Just live in a zoo, I'd be fine.
That's goals, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ain't never gonna happen, but
somebody asked me a little while ago what my dream job would be, what I'd love to do when I retire from doing what I'm doing now. And I think, you know what, to be like the curator at the invert house or the reptile house at London Zoo, something like that.
Yeah.
That'd suit me down to the ground.
That'd be ace, wouldn't it? Just a hell of a way to go, though.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want to be riding on your push bike, like, would you?
Depends on how bad you are by the time you retire.
Yeah.
Might be in the scooter by then.
Well, see, the thing is with my job is I reach a certain point, I have to retire. So I've only got only got 7 years left before I have to retire from this job, so I'll still be young enough to potentially look at a second career.
How did you get into what you're doing?
It was kind of like a spur of the moment decision. So, I mean, it's not a secret or anything. I just,
Yeah.
you know, depending on, you know, most of the people that are likely to be online know what I do for a living. It says on my Instagram and that sort of stuff anyway. But so what started me off was I wanted to be a paramedic.
Right.
And I went to a really, really crappy school in London. I left school without any qualifications. And to go to university and do the degree in paramedical sciences that I wanted to do, I couldn't do it with the qualifications that I had, and it was too expensive to pay to go back to college at the time to do my GCSEs and A-levels. My family's got like a long history of military service and that sort of stuff. 2 secs. And one day it just sort of popped into my head to head into a military careers office and have a look at what jobs were on offer and stuff. So I went in and had a look with a view to doing something along the lines of, you know, within the medical profession. And that was what they offered me. You know, it was an opportunity to be an army medic. So I took it.
Yeah, why not?
So it's sort of in line with what I wanted to do anyway. I didn't have to have all the additional qualifications and stuff that I would have had to do my paramedics degree as a civilian. They provided all the training and all that sort of stuff. And it gave me an opportunity to travel the world, go through, see fantastic things and interesting places. And all right, it's not all going to fun places and and seeing fantastic. As an army medic, I've seen things that I didn't particularly want to see. Dealt with things that I didn't particularly want to deal with, but you know, it's part and parcel of the job, and it's quite rewarding in its own way. You know, there are times when it's shit, but for the most part, it's a rewarding job. It feels, you know, it feels good to do what I do.
Good. So, well, as long as you enjoy it as well.
And as I say, I've had the opportunity to go out to Belize and go and see tarantulas and wandering spiders and snakes and all that sort of stuff out in the wild in Belize. I've been to Kenya and played with puff adders and black mambas and stuff like that. I've been to Canada and got an opportunity to watch, you know, rattlesnakes interacting on the prairies, and you know, Iraq and Afghanistan have got a really interesting lot of scorpions and bugs and all that sort of stuff. So plenty of opportunities to see things like camel spiders in the wild. And
yeah, that's pretty cool actually.
So yeah, I always ended up being that weird guy as well. So being the medic, anyone that was involved in any kind of like animal bite or bug bite issue and all that sort of stuff, it was always me that came to see. So actually having a bit of an interest in reptiles and inverts and that sort of stuff, you know, I was in my element at places like that, collecting up this and that and keeping them in pots and fucking all sorts of weird stuff. So yeah.
What got you into what you do, Tom?
I lost my job scaffolding and needed a job.
Oh, okay.
So
you
yeah,
enjoy it,
otherwise yeah, it's all right. Just like anything else, you have your shit days and you have your good days. So
yeah, I imagine it's not very good when it's raining, like.
No, it is horrible when it's wet weather outside. But then I suppose that's with any job that's outside.
Do you stop when it's raining or not?
No, still got to work through it.
Oh, fair play. As long as you enjoy it. Pays the bills, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing, you know. There's not a lot of people out there that can say that they're doing the job that they absolutely wanted to do. You know, when you're a kid and you look forward and think, I want to be this when I grow up and stuff like that. I don't think very many people get the opportunity to do half the stuff that they love. You know, so I
I
think
want to be an ice cream man, but
I get that. I get that. Free ice cream all day.
whatever. Having a little van going around delivering ice cream, done. Happy.
Hey, it's still time, dude. Still time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Everyone's happy when they see one, though, aren't they? They're like, oh, look, ice cream man.
Oh, new one in.
Hello.
Evening. How about you, Tom? What did you want to do when you were a kid?
Well, when I was like about 13, I did want to be a policeman,
Okay.
but you know, I just felt that I was too unfit for stuff like that. So I went with something. Well, what I thought
Have
was
you
easier
seen some of
anyway.
the police officers?
Yeah, I know.
Like, they don't run.
I know. But then I thought scaffolding was going to be easier, and how wrong I was there as well.
No, that's solid graft, mate.
So,
I
yeah,
don't think it would be the fear of heights for me. It's the fear of, if this breaks, we're all going down. Like,
yeah, you gotta have confidence in your abilities to put it together, ain't you?
absolutely, it's like a giant puzzle with no instructions.
Yeah, it's just Meccano.
Yeah, I suppose.
If people remember Meccano anyway.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Stuff was great, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, it does sometimes make you think, because like once you walk away from it, you never know how many people are going to be up on that scaffold. It can be a site that you have like 50, 60, maybe 70 people go up on that.
Yeah.
So everything's got to be right.
It's not the nicest looking thing, though, is it?
No, not at all.
Sometimes they put that big bag, not bag, but like a. Do you know what I mean?
Cheating.
Like, yeah, that's a skill in itself, mine, isn't it? Like putting that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that.
So what got you into chefing, James?
I used to fix the equipment, like catering engineer,
Okay.
and yeah, that's it really. Again, it was, I don't know, it was an accident, but you know, I started in a good kitchen. Like, it wasn't quite fine dining, but it was nearly there. And yeah, I just got thrown in at the deep end, so I had to learn quick. They would show you once, and if you didn't get it, you're out the door.
Yeah.
So I kind of had to listen, really. But yeah, I enjoy learning, you know. So
So funny story with that one actually. So saying about like kit inspections and finding jars full of weird and wonderful creatures. I spent just after I first joined up, I spent 3.5 years in Germany. And lived in my own room, so that gave me an opportunity to keep my own weird and wonderful spiders and stuff like that. So I did have all my pet tarantulas and that sort of stuff in my room in Germany. And when it came around for room inspections, mine was one of the only rooms that some of the people doing the room inspections refused to go into because of the stuff that I kept in there.
Nice.
I guess that's one way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I moved out of the single guys accommodation, before I moved in with the missus, I left one of my shed skins from one of my tarantulas on the notice board, just sort of hanging on the notice board. And the young lass that moved into the room after I moved out of it absolutely shit herself and refused to move in.
Do you reckon anyone has ever been that scared they've stood there and just messed themselves?
Nah. No one's ever been quite that soon. Plenty of people run away. Plenty of people have like spotted it and made a quick hasty exit, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took one to work the other day, and one of the guys was like basically trying to run out the gate.
Yeah.
It's like it's not anything. It's a mole. I don't care. All right.
It looks like one. That's what I get. It was one day. It's like, yeah, but it's not now.
Yeah, I've had it when you've dropped parcels off at the post office to send. They've got spiders in and stuff like that. The look that you get sometimes off the cashier when they say, "What's in the box?" and you're like, "Spiders," and they're like, "Ah, drop it." What do you mean spiders?
They carry the box like that with like 2 fingers in it. Like, it's wrapped up. It's not going to get you.
It's not going to tear its way out of the box.
Some people just have no idea, do they?
Oh.
Nice to know that Lee's in the pub.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
You spin me right round, baby, right round. What a tune as well.
Oh yeah.
He kind of went a bit weird, didn't he?
Yeah.
Not weird. That's probably the wrong. Like plastic.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to call it a night.
Okay, mate. Should we? It's 11:05. Shall we say goodnight, gents?
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for everyone that's left in watching now. Feel free to come back and join us next week. I think it's your turn again next week, isn't it, James?
Yeah, then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Awesome. Right. Well, take care, everyone.
All right.
Enjoy the rest of your week. And I'll see you later.
Adios.
Good night, gents.